Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to tackle those topics you're curious about, get you the info efficiently.
Exactly.
And you sent us some really, well, pretty fascinating material this week. We're jumping into something that might challenge some assumptions. Multiple non-ejaculatory orgasms in men.
Yeah, it's a concept that comes up in this contemporary guide you found.
Mm-hmm.
And our mission today really isn't about getting lost in, mystical interpretations.
Right.
It's more about unpacking the idea that for men, orgasm and ejaculation can actually be separate things, getting a better handle on how your own body works.
Okay, let's dive right in because the source starts strong. It says the common Western idea that male orgasm is ejaculation. It calls that completely wrong.
That is a bold claim, yeah.
Oh.
Kicks things off.
Definitely.
Especially given how linked those two things are in our minds typically. But, it's interesting. We don't question non-ejaculatory orgasm in women, do we?
No, that's true. We accept that a woman can orgasm without releasing fluid.
Right. So it makes you wonder why the narrative is so different for men.
Yeah, like different rule books. Why is that? Any ideas from the source?
That's a great question. And the book points towards non-Western cultures, India, China, saying that for them, male non-ejaculatory orgasm isn't new at all. It's like established fact in their medical, even spiritual texts for centuries, millennia, actually.
Wow, millennia. That really shifts the perspective, doesn't it? Makes our Western view seem maybe a bit limited on this.
It does. And the book mentions these ancient beliefs about semen, that it wasn't just biological fluid, but held like vital energy. And losing it could impact your health, mind, spirit, that kind of thing.
It almost reminds me of that idea, maybe less spiritual, but Western athletes sometimes abstaining before games.
Yeah, conserving energy.
Right, like serving something important.
It's an interesting parallel, the book notes too, but there's a difference. While we might think sex depletes energy, traditions like Tantra or Taoism mentioned in the source, they see orgasm itself as potentially energizing.
Okay. It's the loss of sperm that's seen as the potentially weakening part in those views.
So this isn't some fringe idea that just appeared. It's got history.
Deep roots, yeah.
Yeah.
And the book even finds an early Western mention, Dr. Eugen Kahn, back in 1939.
Yale, right?
Yeah, at Yale.
Yeah.
So the conversation's been simmering, maybe quietly, in the West for a while, too.
Okay. So the idea's been around.
Exactly. And from there, the book kind of pivots to talk about the health benefits of orgasm in general, whether you ejaculate or not.
Which is good because, even if the non-ejaculatory part is new to people, the plus sides of regular sexual activity are pretty well established now, thankfully. We're past the old myths.
Right. No more of that masturbation causes blindness stuff.
Exactly. So what benefits does the book highlight?
Okay, first up, stronger pelvic floor muscles, the PC muscles.
Yes.
The book explains these are at the base of the penis, support the bladder, bowels.
Right.
Important for things like urine control, bowel control.
Things you don't maybe immediately link to sex. Right. But also key for preventing premature ejaculation and even erectile function.
Kind of a use it or lose it situation down there.
Pretty much. The book suggests regular activity, masturbation a few times a week, helps keep those muscles toned.
Make sense?
And that leads right into the next point, helping with premature ejaculation.
Okay. How so?
Well, the idea is regular self-stimulation can build better control physiologically, though the book admits, psychology plays a big part too.
Sure.
It even gives a practical tip. Maybe try self-stimulating a couple of hours before having sex with a partner.
Interesting. Like taking the edge off.
Kind of, yeah. Then there's sperm motility.
Motility, so how well the sperm swim.
Exactly. Regularly clearing out older sperm encourages the production of newer, more mobile ones. Could be relevant for fertility.
Good to know. And then the prostate cancer link. That sounds surprising.
Yeah, the theory presented is that stuff can build up in the urogenital tract. Regular ejaculation helps flush things out. The book mentions studies suggesting a potential link.
Fascinating how it's all connected. Even nasal congestion. Really?
Yeah. It's because blood vessels constrict during orgasm, vasoconstriction. So it can briefly open up your nasal passages. Temporary fix, but hey.
A weird little side effect.
Yeah.
And the mood boost. That feels more familiar.
Definitely. The release of hormones like oxytocin during orgasm, feel-good stuff, helps with stress, maybe even depression symptoms. We hear about oxytocin with bonding and intimacy too.
Right.
So yeah, while learning non-ejaculatory orgasm takes time and patience, as the book says.
It's not instant.
Not at all. But the underlying activity, just being sexually active in a healthy way, already has these benefits.
Okay, so we've got the why, potential benefits, challenging assumptions.
Yeah.
Now the how. To understand non-ejaculatory orgasm, we need the mechanics, right? How does male orgasm typically work, according to the book?
Okay, it breaks it down into 4 phases. First is the plateau phase. Can last maybe 30 seconds to a couple of minutes. This is where tension builds, muscles might start contracting involuntarily, heart rate, blood pressure go up. And this is also when pre-ejaculate or pre-cum can show up.
Right, that's for lubrication preparing the way.
Exactly. Then phase 2, orgasm itself. But the book splits this into 2 parts, emission and ejaculation.
Okay, emission first.
Emission is described as the point of no return. Seminal fluid gathers in the urethral bulb that's at the base of the penis.
Right.
Scrotum tightens, testes pull up closer, and the urinary tract clamps shut. So pee doesn't mix with semen.
Lot going on internally there. Stuff you might not even notice in the moment. The book says pay attention to these feelings.
Absolutely. Become aware. Then comes ejaculation.
The main event, most guys think.
Right. That's the series of rapid muscle contractions pushing the semen out. But here's the key distinction the book makes.
Okay.
The pleasure of the orgasm comes from those muscle contractions, pelvic floor, prostate, anal sphincter.
Not from the semen actually leaving.
Exactly. The pleasure is from the contractions, not the expulsion itself. Understanding that separation is like fundamental to the whole practice.
Wow. Okay. That's a crucial distinction.
Yeah.
Separating the feeling from the fluid.
It really is.
Yeah.
Because they happen so close together, normally we just assume they're the same thing.
Yeah.
After ejaculation comes the resolution phase. Erection starts to go down as blood flows out. The book points out the penis isn't a muscle, it's erectile tissue.
Right. Fills with blood.
But muscle contractions might continue for a bit just to clear out any remaining semen.
And then the final phase.
The refractory period, the rest phase.
Okay.
Muscles relax, you feel drowsy maybe, sexually satisfied.
Yeah.
How long this lasts varies a lot. Age, health, how active you were.
Partner arousal maybe?
Could be. Anywhere from minutes to half an hour or longer. And the book notes it's often shorter for women.
Right. Okay, so understanding those 4 phases, plateau, emission, ejaculation, resolution, refraction, that's the groundwork.
Essential groundwork, yeah. For understanding the techniques the book proposes for non-ejaculatory orgasm.
And the first technique is breathing.
Diaphragmatic breathing,
Yeah.
yeah. Deep belly breathing.
We hear about that for stress relief.
Exactly. The book connects it to Ayurvedic traditions, even for treating premature ejaculation. It makes sense, right? Staying calm helps manage excitement.
Totally. Keep your arousal in check.
Yeah. The book explains how babies breathe this way naturally, using the diaphragm. But we often switch to shallower chest breathing as we get older.
Which isn't as good.
Less efficient, can increase stress, so it gives instructions. Lie down, put a hand on your belly, watch it rise and fall as you breathe in and out. Keep your chest still. Maybe use a mirror.
Practice it.
Practice it. And the key is to use this deep breathing when you feel yourself getting too aroused, like nearing that point of no return.
Okay, cool. Calming technique. What's next?
Next up is the PC muscle. Pubococcygeus.
Ah, the famous PC muscle.
The very same. The book describes it as that sling of muscle from your pubic bone back to your tailbone forms the pelvic floor.
And it's the one you squeeze to stop peeing midstream.
That's the one. So it's not just for pee control. The book says it's critical for orgasm mechanics.
How so?
Well, it tightens before orgasm, partly to stop urine escaping with semen. It contracts rhythmically during orgasm. That's part of the pleasure.
Right.
And its strength influences erection hardness, duration, helping prevent premature ejaculation, even orgasm intensity.
Right.
And crucially, it's presented as the key muscle for stopping ejaculation.
So strengthening this muscle is like step 1, foundational.
Absolutely foundational. The book outlines basic exercises. First, just finding it.
Using the stop peeing trick again.
Yeah, but with a warning. Don't do it too often while actually peeing. Could mess with your bladder.
Good caution.
Better is the seated exercise. Sit down. Focus only on squeezing the PC muscle. Keep your abs, butt, thighs totally relaxed. Isolating it.
Tricky at first, I bet.
Takes practice. Then it lays out a structured program, like weight training. Weeks 1 to 5.
Okay.
Start lying down week 1, easier without gravity. Then progress to sitting or standing. It's specific. Contract for X seconds, hold for Y seconds, relax for Z seconds, repeat N times.
Like reps and sets.
Exactly. And do it on an empty stomach and bladder. And importantly, check with your doctor first if you have any health issues.
Standard fitness advice, really. Okay, so that builds basic strength. Then it gets into PC exercises with an erection.
Yeah, that's the next level. And interestingly, the book suggests trying not to rely on porn for these.
Why is that?
To focus more on internal sensations, the mind-body connection. The goal is getting erections and then consciously controlling them, moving them with just your PC muscle.
Wow, okay.
It lists 6 exercises. Start simple. Use the PC muscle to lift your erect penis toward your hand.
Just with the muscle.
Just with the muscle. Then add resistance, push gently against it with your hand. Then try lifting a damp towel draped over the penis.
Lifting a towel. Okay, that's specific. Shows the kind of control they're aiming for.
It does. Then holding the lift. Then holding for longer. The final one is using a dry, full-body towel.
Yeah.
The idea is spend about a week on each, practice maybe 3 times a day. If you lose the erection, stop, try again later. Exercise 6, the towel lift, could even be a lifelong practice, it suggests.
But it warns against extremes, right? Like weights?
Yes, definitely cautions against anything extreme like attaching weights, and advises against things like penile straps. Focus is on internal muscle control.
Got it. Build the muscle, learn to control it, even when aroused. What's after mastering the PC muscle?
Finding your point of no return, really knowing it.
Through self-exploration?
Yes. Masturbation, again, preferably without porn's intense stimulation, just focusing inward, feeling the sensations.
What should you be looking for?
The book says notice the shift in pleasure. It starts maybe at the head of the penis, but just before ejaculation, it moves deeper into the pubic region, into that PC muscle area. Learn to recognize that feeling.
Become intimately familiar with the pre-ejaculation phase.
Exactly. And when you get there, practice delaying. Use the deep diaphragmatic breathing.
Calm down.
Gently pull the testicles down slightly away from the body. That can help sometimes. Notice tension anywhere else but back, anus, and try to relax it.
But ultimately comes back to the PC muscle.
Ultimately, yes. PC muscle strength and control is what lets you hold back at that threshold. And the book is realistic. Accidents will happen, especially at first. Practice is key.
It sounds like a real process of learning your body. Okay, there's one more technique mentioned. Blocking the perineum. Sounds a bit technical.
It is more advanced, and the book puts some big warnings up front.
Like what?
Definitely talk to your doctor if you have medical conditions, and avoid it if you've had or are about to have prostate surgery.
Okay, important safety notes.
Yeah.
So the perineum, that's the area between the anus and the scrotum.
That's the spot. The book describes how to find it, maybe stimulate it gently first to feel the sensation, sometimes a tingling. It connects this area to prostate drainage, too.
And the technique itself.
You masturbate normally. Just as you feel you're about to hit that point of no return, that unstoppable urge, you consciously relax your PC muscle.
Relax it, not tense it.
Relax it, and then press firmly and steadily on that perineum spot with your fingers. Keep pressing until the orgasm finishes.
What happens then?
It can lead to a dry orgasm. You feel the orgasmic contractions, but no semen comes out. Or sometimes retrograde ejaculation.
Meaning the semen goes into the bladder instead.
Yes. You might notice it in your urine later, but the book is very clear on this.
Let me guess. Not contraception.
Absolutely not contraception. And definitely not STI prevention. Condoms for that. Always.
So why do it?
It's presented purely as a training method. A way to help your brain and body disconnect orgasm from ejaculation. To learn that separation physically, not something to do regularly long term.
Okay, a learning tool, not the end goal. Makes sense.
Yes.
Finally, the book talks about venting. What's that about? Sounds like letting off steam.
Pretty much. It explains some men practicing this find their orgasms get stronger initially, maybe lasts longer, but then over time can start to feel less intense, smaller.
Diminishing returns.
Kind of. And some also report side effects from maybe building up too much sexual energy, as the hook puts it.
Side effects like what?
Headaches, feeling hyper or irritable, sleep problems.
Interesting. So too much retention isn't always good either.
It seems that way for some. The book mentions traditional advice like cutting back on sugar, caffeine, spicy food, even garlic sometimes.
Okay.
But the main solution offered is venting. Basically, just have a normal ejaculatory orgasm occasionally, let it out.
Release the pressure.
Exactly. It notes younger men might need to vent more often. and advises men over 60 with these issues to see a doctor, not just vent.
Good balance. It's not about total suppression forever.
No. And that leads into the conclusion. The book circles back saying non-ejaculatory orgasm is achievable with practice. It's not mystical nonsense.
Right. It's a skill.
A skill. And it's not just about having more orgasms, but about a deeper path understanding yourself better. Joy, pleasure, self-healing, self-discovery.
So the real benefit is enhanced self-awareness and connection to your own body and sexuality.
That seems to be the core message. And it leaves us, the listeners, with a final thought to chew on.
Yeah.
How might your understanding of your own body, your own sexual response, change if you explored these ideas? Maybe question how much our culture just automatically equates male orgasm only with ejaculation.
Definitely food for thought.
Thanks.
How much is biology and how much is conditioning? Interesting stuff.